Okay, dear students at Al-Azhar University, second level at the Law and English program. In this lecture, we will move to one of the most known penalties according to the Palestinian law and also according to the comparative penal codes that are applied all over the world. In the previous lectures, we shed the light on the kinds of the penalties, the punishments, and also the precautions or the precautionary arrangements. And we managed to know the difference between these two kinds of penalties and what are the characteristics of such penalties. Now we'll move to the capital punishment. The capital punishment is known almost in the majority of the penal codes around the world. Also, the penal code in the Gaza Strip, the ordinance or the criminal ordinance of 1936. Also, the criminal code that is applied in the West Bank, number 16 of 1960, is also adopting the capital punishment as one of the most known punishments within that code. Actually, I will try to make balance in my illustration to this topic between Arabic and English. So I will use both languages so that to make it so clear for my students, and to make it so clear for my students understanding the new legal terminologies that it may be new for them. So what is the definition of the capital punishment? Or where did we get the word capital? Why do we call it capital punishment? Actually, capital as one of the English words is taken from a Latin root that is capitalis. And capitalis actually equals another word which is caput. So when we use capitalis or caput in the Latin root of language, it means something relates to head or something related to head or of the head. حاجة لها علاقة بالرأس يعني. So it means it equals in the English language the word behead or the act of beheading. To behead someone, it means to cut his head. So when we cut someone's head, then in this case it would lead to his death. So when we use the word caput, then in this case we mean to end his life, which is actually the core meaning of the capital punishment. So capital punishment, the word capital is taken from capitalis or caput in the Latin root of the language. Okay, what is the definition as we mentioned before? What is the definition of such punishment? The capital punishment means to end someone's life for committing a capital offense. إني أنا أنهي حياة شخص معين ببساطة لأنه ارتكب أحد الجرائم الفظيعة أو الكبيرة جدا اللي احنا بنطلق عليها ممكن حسب تشريعنا capital offenses. بعض التشريعات ممكن لقيتها تسمى grand offenses، وبعض التشريعات ممكن نسميها capital crimes، بعض التشريعات بتسميها capital felonies الجنايات الكبيرة أو جنايات العظمى. So to end someone's life or to end the life of the convicted person. The convicted person, it means he is convicted, it means he is condemned. يعني he is not still litigated or prosecuted before the court. He is convicted now, finally is convicted. يعني مدان أصبح وصدرت ضده أحكام بإدانته. Then in this case, when we end his life because he committed a very serious crime like the first degree murder, for example, then in this case this is a capital punishment. So capital punishment in brief or in a nutshell, it means to end someone's life, but for what? For committing a capital offense. This is the simplest actually definition of the capital punishment. Okay, as we mentioned before, the sentence is ordering that someone shall be punished. So when we say that someone is convicted with a capital punishment, then this is the sentence. And the word sentence in the language, it differs from the word execution. Execution means the act of carrying out of such a sentence. So when we carry the capital punishment actually or on the ground, then this is an application of the death sentence. The application of such sentence is called the execution. فالexecution هي معناتها الإعدامات، اللي تنفيذ الإعدام مش حكم الإعدام. So this is the difference between the word sentence of death penalty and the execution of capital punishment. It may we say execution of capital punishment. Some reports use the word execution, so you have to know that execution here means to carry out the sentence of the death penalty. Okay, as we mentioned before, the crimes that are punishable by death penalty are known as the capital crimes. Other penal codes adopt the wording capital offenses, others adopt the wording of capital felonies. So these are various wording, but they lead to the same point, that these are a very serious offenses that deserve, or who commit them deserve to be punished with the capital punishment. To execute him, to end his life. So these crimes, or the capital crimes, or the capital felonies, they vary depending on the jurisdiction. So the jurisdiction according to the Palestinian code may vary from the jurisdiction of another code. So it's may that the Palestinian code gives the punishment of the capital punishment to someone for committing a specific crime, and this specific crime in the other laws, it is not punished by the capital punishment. So it differs from a penal code to another penal code. There is a lot of examples for these capital offenses. It's murder, mass murder, and by the way, mass murder here, it differs from genocide. Genocide is a mass murder, but the difference is that the mass murder here is exposed to persons who do not share the same bond or the same link, like to be of a certain racial origin, or to be or that this group have the same for example, they have the same religion, for example. So genocide, it means that the people that they are victims of such genocide, they have the same religion, for example, the same race, the same sex. So in this case, this is a genocide, like what happened in the case of the Tutsi and the Hutu in Rwanda. So in this case, mass murder is different from genocide. Aggravated cases of rape, child sexual abuse, terrorism, treason. Treason means to betray your state, خيانة يعني. Espionage, it's kind of when you are a spy or something like that, then this is case of espionage, the justice. Sedition means when we conduct something or to make a speech which support people, or to incite people to revolt against the state, the monarch, or even the authority, then this is kind of sedition. It equals the word fitna in the Arabic language. Piracy, قرصنة, aircraft hijacking. Hijacking, it means to kidnap an aircraft or a ship, then this is hijack. Drug trafficking or dealing, war crimes, crimes against humanity, and genocide. And by the way, these crimes are adopted by the Rome Statute, constituting the International Criminal Court in The Hague. And in some cases, the serious acts of recidivism. Recidivism is the tikrar, or the repeat the crimes when there is there is a court decision between every crime that separates them, or that separates these serious acts. Aggravated robbery or burglary, and even kidnapping. So these are examples actually for the